Matt. And this, look.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think, Pop?
You please look up to the noise.
Sponsor?
Oh, Mr. Barnaby.
The office is your domain. You've no need to be in here at all.
I'm sorry, Mr. Barnaby. Kittens, dog.
Put it back.
You know, they really are terribly nice, even though they're not real.
I thought as much. I told you to nail up these crates.
I was going to.
Well, I want to see it done tonight before I leave. Mac, you want me?
The place wasn't full of women and snoopers.
Get rid of this. What held you up? You're about an hour late with this lot.
Yeah, well, the truck's a right old heap of scrap. Where'd you get it?
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. It could be the fuel pump. I'll have a look at it in the morning.
The first thing, we're going to need it.
Boss is a bit touchy, isn't he?
Barnaby's all right. But that other one, Jason.
Barnaby and Jason may be a reputable wholesale firm, but we just can't be sure.
And how much money has this racket cost your company?
Artemis Insurance has lost nearly £50,000 since last November.
As much as that?
Yes, we just can't go on. These bad debts must stop.
What exactly happens?
Well, it seems as though a completely unscrupulous type of wholesaler has evolved a most despicable swindle. It takes advantage of a loophole in the credit system.
And what sort of loophole?
Well, let's take an example, shall we? Now, suppose you own a hardware shop and there's a big demand for, say, oil heaters. I come along to you with a cheap supply, no questions asked. How do I get them for you?
Well, you could steal them from the factory.
I could. There's no need to break into the factory to do the stealing. All I have to do is to place an order for 500 oil heaters and have them delivered to a warehouse. Provided I can persuade the factory that my credit is good, don't have to put down any cash for 3 months.
Yes, but this is normal business procedure, surely.
Oh, yes, of course. Perfectly legal, too. Then, I pass the goods on to you for cash and clear out. You see, I've made a nice clear profit and I've left no forwarding address. Who's going to lose by the deal?
The factory, when they try to collect?
Yes, I thought you'd think that. But no, you're wrong. The factory doesn't lose. We do.
I get it. The factory is insured against bad debt.
Exactly.
And by the time you and the police are called in, of course, the criminals have had 3 months' start.
Quite.
Now, about this firm, Barnaby and Jason.
Well, they're a newly established firm, and although their credit appears to be good, we know very little about them. You see, from various manufacturers, they've had goods on order amounting to £20,000. Now, this is a fair amount to cover for bad debts.
You think they might be going to work some sort of fiddle?
Oh, I sincerely hope not. But you, I understand, gentlemen, try to anticipate trouble.
Well, that's what we're in business for, Mr. Fairley.
Do you mind if I hang on to these for the time being?
Yes, I shall be only too happy to let you have any information that you require. Good morning, Mr. Souter.
Good morning.
It really would be disastrous if we had to increase our premiums.
Right.
Oh, thank you, young lady. Good morning. It would be so unfair on the hundreds of honest, decent clients whom we have to deal with.
It would indeed. Well, you'll be hearing from us, Mr. Fairley.
Thank you. Goodbye, Mr.
Goodbye. That's a job for you, Heather. One that will just suit that electronic brain of yours.
What's that supposed to mean?
Go through these insurance claims and see if you can find any sort of pattern. Compare them, you know?
Is that all?
No. Then we want a file on this firm of Barnaby and Jason. Type of goods, where supplied, how much, when and where, bills paid. Shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes.
For the avoidance of doubt, and not so as to place any further or any other obligation on the insurer or the insured, it is hereby expressly declared...
Always the same pattern. Fake references, easily disposed of goods. Ooh, dear. And by the time the suppliers requested money, the birds have flown. This firm, Barnaby and Jason, could be the same, you know.
They could just as easily be on the level.
Yeah.
Mr. Fairley's just phoned to say that Barnaby and Jason have asked for cover on another £5,000 worth of costume jewellery.
We're doing on that line.
There's Jim Bradley.
Oh, yeah.
He's a buyer for Brighton Boatings. They've got dozens of shops and sell everything from tiaras to tie-pins.
Well, now, that's an idea. He'd be useful cover for looking around the warehouse. Look, I'll pop into his pub on the way home and see if I can find him. See you in the morning, all right?
All this enthusiasm.
Well, at least he tries to get things done.
What does that mean?
Well, for one thing, he signs his letters.
Oh, all right. I can take a hint.
Well, you took some finding. Popped into your local last night. You weren't there. Rang your secretary this morning. You were out having coffee.
Yes, when I was at a party last night, and I'd like to have my coffee in peace.
Yeah, you look pretty ropey. Oh, flat white, love. Look, Jim, Bob and I have got a problem I think you can help us with.
Well, fire away.
Well, we want to look around a warehouse without raising their suspicions. Thanks, love. It's not that they're up to anything, we just want to check.
Well, how can I help?
Well, you deal with wholesalers every day of your life. You could go along supposedly to look at stock, and I could string along with you.
What's the name of your firm?
Barnaby and Jason.
How old is it?
No, it's a new firm. They've got premises down in Whitechapel somewhere. They haven't started dealing yet. They've just been stocking up.
Look, Ian, you know perfectly well I'd like to help you, but you're Barnaby and Jason are bound to smell a rat.
I don't see why. You're a bona fide buyer, and I should thought the name of Brighton Bolting would have meant something.
Yes, but that's the whole point. Manufacturers, wholesalers, agents, they come to see me, not the other way around. It's a buyer's market. And another thing, if this is supposed to be a new firm, how have I heard of them?
Well, that's simple enough. Your firm deals with cornfields, doesn't it?
What, the costume jewelry
Yeah.
people? Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, my department handles their stuff.
What could be better than that, then?
But he and I would deal directly with them.
Look, the ploy is this. You've been on the cornfields for some of their stuff, and they've said, sorry, they can't help you because they've just filled a big order for Barnaby and Jason, a new firm of wholesalers. They suggest you get onto them direct.
Yes, I suppose that sounds reasonable enough. Now, come on, Ian. What's the whole story?
All right. I'll put you in the picture. Now, Barnaby and Jason's order is subject to Cornfield's credit trading insurance policy. Well, normally this would go through on the nod. But because they're a new firm, it's been queried by a fairly large insurance, I don't know if you know.
Yes.
And he's passed the whole thing on to me.
And you're trying to pass it on to me.
Well, that's the idea. Can you help us?
Yes, all right, I'll string along.
Good fella. Finish your coffee. You better push on, we've got some work to do.
Oh,
Oh, thank you. Here, how many coffees did you have?
Oh, how do I introduce you?
Oh, just by name. Now, you do the talking, and I'll just look around, all right?
Mhm.
As far as you're concerned, this is a normal business visit, all right?
Miss Fodsham, the door.
Oh, it's not locked.
We're expecting a buyer. Let's try to appear businesslike.
Oh, yes, Mr. Barnaby. Yes.
Oh, good morning. My name is Bradley of Brighton Bolting. I telephoned earlier.
Oh, yes.
I have an appointment with Mr. Barnaby.
Mr. Bradley to see you, Mr. Barnaby.
Oh, good morning, Mr.
Good
Bradley.
morning. Oh, may I introduce Mr. Suter?
Good morning. This is my partner, Mr. Jason. Mr. Bradley.
How do you do?
How do you do?
And Mr. Suter.
Suter? How do you do?
Sorry, I wasn't expecting two visitors. Well, as you can see, we've hardly settled in yet. I must say it's most flattering to have Brighton Boltings round here before we've opened shop, so to speak.
Yes, well, we were very interested in that consignment you bought from Cornfield.
Yes, so you said on the phone.
I understand that you bought up the entire range of designs. That could be just the sort of thing we're looking for.
We're very lucky to get them.
I thought we had a buyer already.
Not a definite deal, Sydney, just an inquiry. We've a lot to learn. It's a new venture for both of us.
This isn't your usual line of business, then, Mr. Barnaby.
Sydney, why don't you show these gentlemen the goods?
Yes, sir. Will you come this way?
If it's not what you're after, we'll have a more varied selection at the end of the week.
Good.
Pop? Yes. It's just the Cornfields consignment I'm interested in at the moment.
Show these gentlemen the goods from Cornfields.
It's nailed up.
Then unnail it.
But Mr. Barnaby said it.
I think you'll find it a very nice line.
Thank you.
First, I tell you one thing, and it's something else.
Morning. Morning. Engine trouble?
Yeah.
What is it there? Carburetor?
Yeah. Could be.
But how much does this one work out at?
Well, I'm not sure.
Look, haven't you got a price list?
Doesn't your Mr. Suter want to see them?
Look, I really must have some idea of what you're asking for these things.
Well, Mr. Barnaby deals with that side.
What do you think of these?
Oh, very pretty.
Have you seen enough?
Oh, I think so. It's up to you, really.
Well, then perhaps we'd better see your Mr. Barnaby now.
Very well.
Is that the lot?
Well, I might as well look at some of your other stock while I'm here, I think.
Mr. Jason only said cornfields. You've seen all that?
Yeah, well, don't pack them away. We may want to look at them again, you know. How long have you worked for Mr. Barnaby?
10 years.
He used to have a business in Thornton Heath, wasn't he?
Did he? You could ask him yourself.
Oh, thank you. Oh, they keep you pretty busy.
Oh, yes, there's always plenty to do.
Pretty quiet in the warehouse.
It varies.
You're a new firm, aren't you?
Oh, we're new here, if that's what you mean.
Oh, you worked for Barnaby before then?
Yeah, nearly a year.
He strikes me as a pretty nice sort of bloke.
Yeah.
You should have an order book somewhere. Any idea, Miss Frodsham?
Oh.
It's our very first order.
Oh, they bought some of the cornfield stuff then, Mr. Barnaby.
Not some of them, Miss Frodsham, every single piece.
Oh,
good.
That's nice.
Do come in, Mr. Suter. We really must have some kind of celebration. It's not every day we do business on this scale.
What are those two up to?
He's just bought the consignment from cornfield. All of it.
Well, you know, you didn't have to go as far as placing an order, Jim.
Oh, for goodness sake, you give me credit for knowing my job. That line will go like wildfire.
You think they're above board, do you?
Well, that's for you to decide. You know, it's the crummiest outfit I've ever been in. Nothing on display, no price list.
Yeah, and they were watching every move we made, too.
Now, Barnaby may know how to buy, but he's certainly got a very strange way of buying. Do you know, I practically had to force him to quote me a price. Still, I'm happy. It's not every morning that I can buy £8,000 worth of very well-designed costume jewelry.
What, you mean you paid 8,000 quid for that stuff?
Yes?
Oh, my respect for Mr. Barnaby increases. For your confidential information, he paid Cornfields 5,000 quid.
£3,000 clear profit,
Yeah.
eh? Not bad at all. Still, he cornered the market, I wanted the goods.
Well.
It's worth £8,000 to me. Oh, by the way, thanks for putting me on to you.
Oh, that's all right.
Let's have a drink together sometime.
Yes. Bye.
Very thanks, Jim. See you again soon.
Hello there, consignment of jade. Have you made the armor card arrangements yet?
Yes, it'll be here at 5:30 on Wednesday.
Thank heaven for that. For goodness sake, phone Mrs. Tanakapan and tell her. She might keep it quiet for a few days.
Sign those, will you?
I don't want to overload your poor tired mind on this subject, but any luck?
Oh, yes. Well, Fairley was quite right on the Thurston. No, I wouldn't insure Mrs. B&J for a halfpenny. What did you make of them, Ian?
Well, I think Barnaby's a pretty sharp operator.
Yes. I mentioned his name to a chap from the fraud squad, and one of those pained smiles crossed his face.
Has he got a record?
Well, he's been involved in quite a lot of shady operations, and always just manages to stay out of trouble. About 6 months ago, he was on his uppers, and he met this chap Jason, and they were in business.
Ah, Jason has the money, eh?
Apparently. They bought some property in Bethnal Green, you know, old property, just about 6 months before a big development project was announced, and they cleared 50,000.
Well, unfortunately, that's pretty regular commercial practice, isn't it?
Maybe, but the fraud squad are rather keen to know just how Barnaby found out about the development.
Well, at any rate, it means that their credit's good.
Just for the moment. Won't be for long at the rate they're living. Luxury flat in the West End for 3. For 3.
Well, if they're in the wholesale business to make an honest living, I'm a Trappist monk.
Maybe, but there's nothing we can do except watch and wait, is there?
Look, I think I'll try to stir things up a bit.
Heather, will you bring in your book, please? What do you say?
Well, I try to force the pace, see if I can make them show their hand a bit. Look, I'll have a late lunch and I'll be back about 3, all right? Oh, sorry enough.
He'll do himself an injury one day, you know, or you. I say, any joy from Mrs. Thing for Nakapan?
Yes.
What?
She wants you to accompany the jade all the way to Reykjavik.
She's joking, of course.
She's not.
All right, never mind then. I want you to take a letter now to Mr. Wheeler at Wheeler and Bonds.
Oh, push it out. It's not heavy.
Hello, love.
Oh, Mr. Suter, did you want to see Mr. Barnaby?
Was he in?
There's only me.
Oh, well, I'll come in then.
Well, what did you want anyway?
Well, I just really wanted to look at the stuff we bought this morning.
Oh, I'm sure Mr. Barnaby wouldn't like me letting a stranger into the place.
Well, I'm hardly a stranger, Miss Trunchbull.
You can call me Beryl.
Beryl. I'll find it for myself, all right?
Oh,
Look, I'm not going to steal the crown jewels or anything.
I'm sure I oughtn't to.
Is there some dreadful secret hidden away in there?
No, of course not. All right, then, so long as you promise not to touch anything except what you bought.
I promise, all right?
Well,
Okay.
Ain't they never taught you manners like knocking on doors?
Listen, there's a fella in there.
Yeah, what's for that?
That bearded one from Brighton Boating. You better keep an eye on him.
Oh, it's bloody.
Whatever were you doing, Mr. Suter?
I didn't knock myself out. You said nobody was in there.
Only me.
Yeah. Swear I heard somebody just before I blacked out.
I found you when I come in from lunch. You knocked over a whole lot of junk, and it was this that did the damage.
Yeah, I've never heard of a spanner falling on somebody accidentally.
Must have been left up there.
Yeah.
Barnaby, there's been a terrible accident.
Accident?
It's Mr. Suter from Brighton Boating. He's been knocked out.
Well, what happened?
Well, I just let him into the warehouse.
You let him in? Never mind about that.
Stuff he bought.
What's happened to him?
Well, I told Pop to keep an eye on him. He must have attacked him.
Where is Pop?
He's back in the strong room. Look, I thought you'd have wanted Pop to keep an eye on Mr. Suter. Oh, Mr. Suter thinks it was an accident.
Go see what the old fool's been up to. I'll go easy with him. My dear Mr. Suter, I really am most distressed to hear about this accident. Whatever happened?
Well, perhaps you can tell me.
Mac?
No idea, Mr. Barnaby. This spanner and a whole lot of junk from the petition had fallen on Mr. Suter. He was out cold in the warehouse.
In the warehouse? Just taking a look at some of the stock we bought this morning. Miss Frodsham shouldn't have let you in there. That part of the warehouse isn't safe.
Well, that was pretty tough enough. I'll just take care where I'm putting it in future.
But Mr. Jason, he was poking about as bold as brass.
There was no need to knock him out.
How else was I to get rid of him?
Could have asked him to leave. I don't know why Barnaby puts up with you.
I've been with him 10 years. He treats me right, this Mr. Barnaby. But he wouldn't want that fella sniffing around out there.
You might have killed him.
I made it look like an accident, didn't I?
I really am very sorry, Mr. Suter. I'll see if that part of the warehouse is cleared at once. We can't afford any more accidents.
No, you can't.
Oh, Mr. Suter, is anything wrong?
Well-
It's all right, Sidney, nothing serious. Do come and see us again, Mr. Suter, when we're better organised.
Yeah, I probably will.
Look, shouldn't you see a doctor?
No, I survived worse than this. Oh, thanks for the first aid.
You're welcome.
Mr. Barnaby will be furious with me. I knew I shouldn't have let you in. There won't be any trouble, will there?
Why should there be?
Well, I don't know, really. Couldn't you sue him or something? You know, like a street accident.
Oh, that stuff.
Look, I've still got some coffee in my thermos.
No, thanks, love, but I think I'll go and look for something stronger. Very kind of you, but thank you. Bye.
Yeah. You don't have to gobble him up quite so obviously.
Look, do you think he's up to something? How could he be? If he was sneaking around those petitions, and what have we got to hide? Why don't we put him on the payroll? For a respectable businessman, you don't seem to take very kindly to customers.
Any luck?
Yeah, more than I bargained for.
Oh, Mr. Fairley's arranging to hold up insurance cover on those goods from Barnaby and Jason. But he says he can't hold it up more. He can't stretch it out more than a couple of days.
Well, I hope a couple of days will do, that's all.
Well, that's most inconvenient. If you're sure it won't take more than a couple of days. All right. Thank you. Well, what's the hold-up? There's a delay on the insurance cover. None of the factories can dispatch to us until it's cleared.
Very wise of them. You can't do business without insurance.
Yes, it's a bit odd, though. A sudden delay on all the stuff we've ordered.
Hey, you're supposed to knock.
Yeah, not this time, Miguel. And he carries me off for what I did at lunchtime, but I was right. I follows this fellow when he leaves.
Suter?
Yeah, him with a beard.
Look, get on with it.
He goes into this office, and what do you think it says on the outside? It says Suter and Shoesmith Limited. You ain't heard of them?
No.
They're a security firm.
So that's it.
Yeah, like private dicks. Only they stop things happening instead of finding out who done it.
You did very well, Pop.
Yes, I knew he was a wrong'un.
Yes, it makes it all the more awkward that you attacked him.
I did right to follow him, didn't I?
Yes, of course, I'll thank you. Carry on as usual. And Pop, no more violence. Look, we better get out while we can. It's a bit early to panic. Suter may have his suspicions, but Proof is quite a different creature. I think we can expect another visit from Mr. Suter. When he arrives, you better let me do the talking. All the talking.
Will you tell him about the truck?
You're in charge of transport round here?
I'm expecting another call from Mr. Suter. Show him straight in, will you?
Oh, okay, Mr. Barnaby.
Mr. Barnaby?
Yes, Mac?
It's the truck, sir. It's got a cracked radiator.
I told you to get it overhauled. I must have it in working condition. Oh, Mr. Suter. Oh, we were expecting you. Do come in, come in.
Thank you.
We'll go straight through.
It's a garage job, Mr. Barnaby. I can't fix it myself.
How long will it take?
Might get it through in a couple of days if I push him hard enough.
Then push by all means. How can we operate without transport?
Hadn't you better see to the truck?
Well, I think we can put our cards on the table now, Mr. Suter.
Yes?
I flatter myself as a shrewd judge of character. But I failed utterly with you.
Oh?
I took you at face value as an employee of Brighton Boatings.
Well, I never made such a claim.
But you didn't exactly advertise your true profession.
How would you describe my true profession?
There's no need to be ashamed of it, Mr. Souter. Your job's security. At the moment, I'd say you're working for an insurance company.
That's possible.
I'm only sorry you didn't tell me in the first place. What is your problem?
I'm just making routine checks.
Yes, so I understand. I prefer you to come to me and not to bother my staff. Miss Frodsham is hardly in a position to answer your questions.
You know, you've got a large amount of stock for such a small staff.
When I really start selling, I'll take on more staff, but at the moment I like to stick to the team I know.
And when do you plan to start selling?
I started today with your friend from Brighton Boatings. And tonight I'm giving a small party for a few buyers. Now, come and see for yourself. My wife will be delighted to meet you.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I don't think I can manage that.
Don't you ever relax, Mr. Souter? Now, mix business with pleasure. If you've any more questions, surely they can wait till tonight.
Very well. I'll come along.
Good.
Oh, where do you live, by the way?
Oh, come now, Mr. Souter. Surely you've found that out by now.
Well, what time?
7 o'clock?
Fine, I'll be there.
Splendid.
Well, thanks.
Mr. Souter, can I have a word
Yes?
with you? You're not here. He'll kill me if he sees me talking to you.
Oh, well, that's my office.
Oh, right. Look, I'll come after work as soon as I can get away. It's important.
Oh, I see.
I'm so glad you're here. Better, Mr.
Get my wife
Souter.
on the phone, will you? 7 o'clock, Mr. Souter.
See you then.
If Mr. Souter shows his face round here again, he's not to be admitted on his own. Is that clear, Miss Frodsham?
Yes, Mr. Barnaby.
And I don't want you talking to him. I let you do all the talking, and what happens? You give him a free run of the place, and now we've got him on our backs tonight. I had to invite him round. We need to keep an eye on Souter. He has some very unhealthy suspicions. Oh, why? But we haven't put a foot wrong. Wouldn't you be just a little watchful if somebody had dropped a spanner on your head?
Stupid idiot Pop Masters. We should have sacked him years ago.
Pop can be very useful at times. And he's loyal to me.
And what's that supposed to mean?
If you'd had your way, we'd have panicked by now, and that's the one thing that'll send us down the drain. This isn't a game, Sidney, it's business. And to get anywhere in business, you need vision. You need to be able to see where you're going.
Oh, yes, I can see where we're heading. Straight for trouble.
You can always back out.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? I put up the money and you take the profits. Oh, no, I'm not going to be fobbed off.
Nor is Souter. So then we buy him off.
Look, I've got for 1,000 quid, not a penny more.
Offer him 20,000, he'll still give you the same answer, no.
Well, then we clear out while we can, cash in what we've got and call it a day.
We can't make a move until the rest of the stock's been delivered. That gives us time. Time to sound out Souter. Time to change our plans.
Oh, look, how can we? Look, it's taken us months to work all this out.
Flexibility, my dear Sidney. No wonder your business was a failure till I turned up. You must learn to adapt yourself to changing situations. If we can't get rid of Souter, we'll use him.
Oh, can I help you?
Yes, sir. I've come to see Mr. Souter.
Oh, yes. You must be Miss Frodsham.
That's right, yes.
Yes, well, he's on the phone at the moment, if you'd just like to take a seat.
Right, thanks. Ooh, I've never seen an office like this except on the films. You should see where I work.
Really?
You know, I knew Mr. Souter would have a place done up like this. He's got class, hasn't he? I do admire that in a man, don't you?
Decidedly.
Hey, how'd you come to land a plummy job like this, then?
Pure luck.
Yeah, it must have been. Let me know if he ever gives you the boot. I can see myself set up in a place like this.
I'll put you on the waiting list.
Does he ever put you on the detective work?
No, I just look after the office.
Oh, I don't think I'd like that. I've always fancied myself as a sort of female spy. I reckon this would be the next best thing.
I'm sure you'd be very successful. Only remember what happened to Martha Hari.
You what?
Martha Hari, the female spy. She was caught and shot.
Oh, they wouldn't catch me. I tell you one thing, though. I can't see me sticking out in that crummy warehouse much longer. Ambition, that's the thing, isn't it?
There's Miss Frodsham to see you. All right. You can go in now, Miss Frodsham. It's just in there.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Oh, Come in, Mrs. Sprotton.
It's Beryl, remember?
Oh, Beryl, this is Bob Shoesmith.
Hello.
How do you do? Well, you've got something to tell me.
Well, Mr. Souter, I'm not usually a telltale, but seeing as you're a detective...
Oh, Beryl, I am not a detective.
Oh, well, that's what Barnaby thinks. I've heard them talking. A regular panic they're in. They said I'm not to let you in the place anymore.
Any idea why?
Oh, they're up to something. Him and that creep Jason. And Pop. Mind you, I like...
Up to what?
Oh, do I look green, Mr. Souter? They don't send your sort round unless there's something up.
Beryl, I am not a detective.
Well, what are you then?
Well, Bob, how would you describe us?
Well, let's say that we look into things.
Oh. Well, I thought you might be glad of some help. Not much goes on there, you know, that I don't know about.
Well, what do you think they're up to?
Well, look, I reckon that Jason has talked him into something crooked. I don't know for sure, mind, but it wouldn't surprise me if they got someone lined up to break in and steal that stock.
What makes you think that?
Well, why else do they send me out the office when they're on the telephone? And I've heard them talking. Look, couldn't you stop them, Mr. Souter? I wouldn't like to see old Barnaby in trouble.
You seem to have a very soft spot for Mr. Barnaby.
Well, he's a twister, no denying that. But he's a nice sort, you know. He'd apologise for hurting you while stabbing you in the back.
Well, when do you think this break-in is going to happen? Always presuming, of course, that your theory is correct.
Oh, not until the rest of the stock arrives. There's been a delay over that. Quite steamed up about it, they were. Hey, did you arrange that, the delay?
How could we do that?
I bet you did. No wonder old Barnaby doesn't want you round. I see. That means then you've known all along what they're up to.
No, on the contrary, Beryl. We're not sure that your boss has any criminal plans, but we're just taking precautions. And now that Barnaby knows he's being watched, he may be warned off.
Yeah. Anyway, look, they won't try anything tonight. You see, they can't get anyone to shift the loot without the truck. That's out of order for a couple of days.
Well, we can relax for a couple of days then, can't we?
Yeah. Do you want me to let you know if I hear anything else?
Oh, yes, please. And you've been very helpful.
Oh, I've enjoyed it. It's not every day one meets a private, whatever you are. Good night, Mr. Shoesmith.
Good night, Miss Rotcham.
Lovely to have met you. Night, Mr. Souter.
Good night, Beryl. And many thanks for coming in. Bye. Well.
I thought you said Miss Fortune was a dish.
Not a bad description.
Some dish.
You take it that our Heather doesn't care very much for Miss Sprotton. Oh, I better be on the way. Funny about Barnaby, you know. He invites me to his home, and he doesn't want me around his warehouse. I just think he's going to pump me a bit of that party.
You know, they could still try something tonight. If Beryl's right about them organizing a break-in, what better time than when you're under their noses?
Well, that's just what I was thinking, Bob. And since I shall be under their noses, I shan't be able to keep an eye on that warehouse.
Ha, ha, ha.
Over there.
Oh, and if Heather could relay messages.
Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, well, have a pleasant evening, you two.
Well, I shall have to give you one of the pieces I bought from your hospital.
Thank you. Will you excuse me?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
You realize I'm paying for this little charade? You can come off your income tax. You know, it's amazing how generous you are with somebody else's money.
Well, it may be your money, Sidney, but how long would you keep it without me in control?
Look, I resent that, Joe. Where would you be without me? Irene, we're...
I hope you're not going to spoil anything.
Mr. Souter.
Oh, you're a special girl.
Don't overdo things, Irene. It'll give me...
Sometimes I have the impression you have no confidence.
Now, look.
Ah, you must
good
be
evening.
Mr. Souter.
Yes.
Do come in.
Thank you.
I'm Irene.
Oh, I had no idea that Mr. Barnaby had such an attractive wife.
May I take your coat?
Oh, please. Thank you.
Come with me, I'll get you a drink. You look like a whiskey and water man to me.
Well, now, that's very astute of you. Not too much.
Do try and be a little sociable, Sidney. A smile or two now and then won't hurt. Oh, Mr. Souter. You are our guest of honor. So glad you could come.
Good evening, Mr. Jason.
Good evening. I see Irene's looking after you.
Yes, very well indeed. Well, it's a charming place you've got here. I must congratulate you on your taste.
I'm glad one of us has it.
Thank you.
I understand you're investigating Joe's business.
Oh, it's hardly that.
Irene,
My husband discusses all his affairs with me.
So you should. Oh, well, here's how.
Irene, I think we can forget about the warehouse for the time being, eh?
But,
Heather, look, that girl Beryl said that their truck was out of order for a couple of days. Yeah. Well, I've just seen somebody back it into their loading bay. Right. Yes, and then I'll bring it back. Okay, bye. I hope this is making up to you for that knock on the head you received.
It's making all the difference in the world. A splendid party, Mr. Barnett.
Oh, thank you. Excuse me a moment.
Golly.
Paul.
What's all this about a crack on the head?
Well, I went down to the warehouse and got clobbered, sort of accidentally on purpose.
It seems to me that you're the one who needs a protector.
Mr. Bradley.
Hello, Mr. Grayson. How are you? It's a splendid party.
I want to put a little proposition to you, Suda.
Oh?
Oh, it's nothing alarming, my dear fellow. I'm a man of ideas. In our business, I provide the ideas and Jason provides the money. Now, what I want is someone to protect those ideas once time and money have been spent upon them. Now, you must know loopholes and angles that a business partnership can employ to protect itself.
I get the impression you're the sort of person who holds his cards pretty close to his chest, whoever his partner happens to be.
Not with you, Suda. I think I could trust you. I'd like to think you could trust me.
Miss Fortune.
Oh, Mr. Shoesmith, I was just going to phone Mr. Suter, only somebody's ripped the phone out. Here, look.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I was just waiting for Mac. He's working late. He's my fiancé, you know.
I thought you told me that the truck was out of order for 2 days.
Oh, so it was. Only Mr. Barnaby's got him to do a rush job.
And why did you want to phone us?
To tell you about the truck. I thought you'd want to know.
What's going on out there?
Oh, that's just Mac. He's checking to see if the repairs were done properly. Do you want to have a word with him?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot that one's locked. You'll have to come round this way.
What's this? This isn't...
Who was that?
Oh, one of the security boys.
What?
Oh, it's all right. I didn't have to use this. I just put him in with Pop. They're safe and snug in there.
Want me to deal with him?
Oh, don't be daft. They can shout all night, but they never get out of there.
You're a cool one.
Yeah, one of us needs to be.
I gotta hand it to you. I never thought it would come this easy. Yeah. Poor old Barnaby. He'll be spitting mad.
Hey, watch that top, Mac. It's coming loose.
Right.
I bet you never thought we'd make a grab like this, did you?
Yeah. We might just afford to get married after this.
How long will you be?
A good hour.
What are you waiting for, then?
I know what I've got to do.
I'd save my strength if I were you, Mr. Shoesmith. Bet you old Barnaby sends you a bill for breaking that window.
You don't have to make up your mind at once, Suter.
Well, my firm will always consider an assignment, provided, of course, the license is scope, and within the law.
That too, yes.
I don't care for the word assignment. I prefer a partnership.
Well, why don't you approach us when you have any specific problem you think we can help you with?
Well, see, you might say you've made us change quite a few plans already. I had no idea that insurance companies were so suspicious.
They had nothing to be suspicious about.
Of course not, Sidney, but Mr. Suter wasn't to know that, was he?
I think I better go and ring Pop.
9 o'clock already. We ring through every night to make sure that Pop is still on the premises and not on the bottle.
I see.
So you're going to work for Jeff?
Well, I shall certainly think about it.
Oh, it'd be nice to have someone like you around the place. Joe gets involved in so many wild schemes. I'd like to think he had someone solid like you behind him.
We haven't done so badly, all in all, have we? I mean, you're not short of anything now, are you?
No, that's true.
I couldn't get through. The line's out of order at the warehouse. They're going to send an engineer in the morning. Excuse me.
Oh, I sincerely hope that Pop hasn't gone off on the binge and left the place open. Mind you, we're fully insured.
It's for you, Mr. Suter.
Oh, excuse me, will you?
I'll send her later on.
Hello, Suter here. Heather, yes?
Bob phoned through half an hour ago.
Yeah?
He says the truck has arrived and he's gone to investigate, but he hasn't rung back yet.
Half an hour ago? Well, I'd better get right over there. Goodbye.
Oh, forgive me for leaving, but that was my secretary. I've got a client I have to see rather urgently.
Oh, what a pity, just when we're getting on so well.
Yes.
But you'll come again, won't you?
Well, I hope so. Many thanks for the party. Good night, Mr. Jason.
I don't like it. There's something fishy going on.
Fishy? Where?
At the warehouse. What? Well, both phones are out of order, and I'm going to find out why.
Do you think Suter's got anything to do with it?
Well, we'll know soon enough. Now, listen. If you set something up tonight without telling me...
Don't be so stupid. Go and get the car.
I rather like you, Mr. Suter, Joe.
Yes, I rather thought you might.
I trust I gave the right impression.
Oh, yes. The picture of respectability. Do make my apologies to the others.
I told you, save your strength, Mr. Shoesmith. This used to be a fur warehouse. They built that strong room to last.
You won't get half a mile in that truck.
Well, you're not exactly in a position to stop us, are you?
Yeah, they can't leave us in here. You gotta let me out, let me out, let me out. I don't want to die, not like
Stop
that.
sniveling, man. You're not going to die.
They're gonna burn the place down and we can't get out.
What do you mean? Who's going to burn it down?
Barnaby, all that stuff's inflammable. He wants to burn us with it.
Plastic, paper, cotton. Not the jewelry.
Well, they gotta leave something for the insurance
Yes.
boys. I heard Barnaby planning it. They get someone to steal most of this stuff. Just leave enough behind to make it look right, and they burn down a warehouse, and he sells the stolen stuff.
Gets his money back on the insurance.
Yes, but I didn't know he was using beryl.
And if the fire's strong enough, there'll be no way of checking exactly what's been burnt.
Yeah, that's why they left all that junk there, all those oily rags, to make it look like an accident. Mr. Shoesmith, you've got to get us out of here.
I don't know if I can.
But you've got to, you must. They can't do this to me. I've been with him years. Better open his door, let me out of here.
15 minutes. You took your time.
Yeah, well, I reckoned an hour. I know he busted my back.
Open the door.
Here, shut up! Can't you shut him up?
Oh, he's drunk. Hey, Mac, the number plate.
Huh?
Oh, you nit.
Well, I forgot. Where did I leave him?
Why didn't you change your purse like I said?
You may have the brains, but I do my part my way.
Better let me out. We gotta let us.
Sorry, Pop, we can't have the law on our
But
tail.
you gotta let us out. You can't.
He thinks you're going to burn the place down.
What makes you think that?
To get the insurance, that's what.
Oh, Pop, you do get the most incredible...
I heard him talking about it.
Oh, shut up. Look, Barnaby might have planned something like that, but I'm here way ahead of him, right?
You'll be picked up within 24 hours.
I don't scare that easily. I've got a buyer lined up for every article on that truck.
It's all ready.
All right. Hey, it's a pity you smashed up that bed. It's going to be a long night. So long, Mr. Shoesmith. So long, Pop. Hey, Pop's got some crazy idea that Barnaby's going to burn the place down.
Have you checked, mister?
What do you mean, have I checked? Did you put it on?
Well, just to make sure.
Oh, come on, let's get going. I'd give anything to see old Barnaby's face.
Oh, let's get the hell out of here.
Well, you better open the door first, hadn't you?
What was that? There's someone at the back of a truck. There's someone there, I tell you.
Keep quiet.
I was right. You did try and pull a double cross. Shut up. I don't know what's happened any more than you do. Shooter, are you all right?
Yeah, just about. Some mechanic you got.
What's been going on in here? Obviously, you must know more than I do.
Well, perhaps you better ask her.
Let go my arm.
Leave her, Jason. The police will handle her.
You must have known about this, Shooter.
Well, you obviously didn't. You wouldn't have let them pip you at the post, would
No,
you?
we have nothing to hide.
Is anybody going to let me out of here?
Where are the keys, eh?
She's got them.
Go on. Oh. Thank you.
You dirty little slut. You disappoint me, Beryl. Really you do.
Oh, don't give me that. You'd have done the same given half a chance. Had it all planned, didn't you?
What an extraordinary accusation.
Look, I'm not such a fool as you think, Barnaby. I knew all along what you were up to. And don't think I won't shop you either.
Lady Jason, you should be grateful to her. I'm only sorry it had to end like this. Mr. Shooter, I'm most grateful to you. You saved me a great deal of embarrassment.
Yeah, but it's nice for you. I hate to spoil the party by pointing out that someone here had a scheme for burning down the warehouse and claiming the insurance.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow you.
I didn't mean to tell him, but I was scared, locked away in there, not knowing what was going to happen.
What are you talking about, Pop?
You told me when I had to clear up that stuff.
Oh, that was just a little joke I made in passing. In poor taste, perhaps, but still a joke. You don't want to take everything I say so seriously, Pop. I merely said that I'd be more than pleased if someone stole the stuff and gave me half the profits. You know, it's just a sort of stupid joke that might occur to any businessman.
Well, you're the sort of businessman who needs protection against himself.
Oh, I quite agree. And that was one of the reasons for my little proposition. I need protection against my own ideas.
Well, Bob, shall we give him some aid with his ideas?
All right. First of all, I think we ought to take some insurance out for ourselves, don't you?
That'd be an idea.